There's a guy who likes games, and the best that he's played are the ones that you'll see on the top 100. Repeat that part. Top 100 games. Good.
Much you like that I get a little bit, just a little bit freaky. That's right.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to The Discriminating Gamer, the board game review show that gave Steve Buscemi those bug eyes. My name is Cody. Well, we're here today to look at another installment of my top 100 games of all time as of October 2015. Today, we're going to be taking a look at numbers 80 through 71. Coming in at number 80 is a game I probably bought 14, 15 years ago, and I played it with Zach all the time. This is not long before Zach got married, and he and I played this thing a lot. It was really a lot of fun. It's a very simple game, but it's a very fun game. It is Battlecry. Now, my version of Battlecry was from Avalon Hill. Subsequently, it's been published by Wizards of the Coast. This is a Commands and Colors game, and we're going to be talking, I'll tell you right now, there's some more Commands and Colors games coming up in this list, a few more. It's just a fun system. You get a card, you can go ahead, you can play it, you can move you move units on either your right flank, your left flank, or the center. Very fun game, very fun system. This one, Battlecry, is set in the Civil War, the U.S. Civil War, and I really enjoy it. It's just a really, really a fun game. It was 49 last year, and I don't play it as much, and I'm playing other Commands and Colors games more than I'm playing Battlecry, so that's why it has slipped down. But it's still a great game. That is Battlecry, my number 80. Number 79 is a game from Hasbro. It's got a really fun theme, a great science fiction theme that I love a lot, and this is Battleship Galaxies. Now, Battleship Galaxies is kind of a spin on the original game of Battleship, but it's quite a bit different. There's a lot more going on here. It's more of a genre game, and it is really fun. There's a good theme. It comes with a fun little comic book. And, you know, you're playing the game, you're trying to fight each other on this board and kill each other. You're not searching the way you are in Battleship. It's not kind of a blind, hidden movement kind of a game. But you're going around, you're trying to hit each other with spaceships, with fighters. But each ship kind of has their own little kind of card diagram. And depending on the dice you roll, you may hit like a trigger point, which blows the whole ship up. So it's kind of like the original Battleship in that sense. But it's a super lot of fun. Now, I was always disappointed that this game never saw expansions. They never supported it the way I hoped they would, because this is a game that really begged for it. It really could have been a much bigger, much more to this game, but you know, it just didn't work out. Didn't capture the public imagination. In fact, I held off on this to buy Star Trek Fleet Captains, which is a better game, as we will see. But I really do like Battleship Galaxies. It was my number 37. Again, I don't play it as much, and it is. There's just other games I like better, but it's still a very good game. That is Battleship Galaxies, my number 79. Number 78 is another kind of light war game. It is Conquest of Empire from Eagle Games. And it's a pretty fun game. It plays, you know, I think 5 or 6 players, and you each have your Caesar, and you're each kind of trying to carve out a little piece of Rome. It's set during the Civil Wars after the era of the 5 Good Emperors with Marcus Aurelius after his death. And there's kind of a cool thing where it's kind of like Axis and Allies. It's by the same designer, kind of about how you're trying to kind of buy units to fill, but the problem is there's this increasing inflation, so units constantly cost more. That's both historical and a fun, interesting mechanic. Just a good, you know, light, as I say, very light war game, but it's really a lot of fun. This was my 48, so it fell 30 points. Again, I don't play it as much as I used to, and there's new games coming out I've enjoyed more, but it's still a super lot of fun. Really enjoy Conquest of Empire, my number 78. Number 77 is one of those games that kind of killed a much older game for me. And this game is, from Days of Wonder, it is Mystery of the Abbey. Of course, it killed Clue. It's very similar to Clue. You're trying to find a murderer, but in Mystery of the Abbey, you're trying to find a monk that committed murder. And what's cool here is you can ask some serious questions. And there's more deduction in this game than I think Clue ever had, and more interesting ways about going to get it. And you're moving your pieces around this monastery. You can ask the other players questions about the cards that they have, meaning the suspects they've ruled out. But you can ask things, you know, about the different kinds of monks, the different orders they are. Do they wear a hood? Are they fat? Are they thin? Do they have a beard? You can ask these kinds of questions, and just some really cool and interesting surprises. Now, this was my number 38 last year. Again, same things. Other games I've liked better, but still, it's a super lot of fun. So that is my number 77, Mystery of the Abbey. Number 76 is a zombie game. And a lot of people say there are too many zombie games out there, and that's probably true, but there's too many of a lot of genres out there, I think. But, you know, when one is good, it's good, and this one is a lot of fun. This is Last Night on Earth. And this is a great game because it doesn't take itself too seriously. It plays out like a B movie. One or more people play the zombies, the other people play the survivors. So there's really a sense of just trying to, you know, if you're the zombie player, overwhelm the humans. The humans have some more options, but of course they're being overwhelmed, they're being overrun. And it's just a lot of interesting, the way you're playing cards, and the cards that come out are just so fun and thematic, and it is just like a B movie. It's a lot of fun. Now, this one did slip for me. It was number 29, so it's fallen quite a bit. Again, games I like better, but still, this one has a special place in my heart. It's from Flying Frog Productions. That is Last Night on Earth, my number 76. Number 75 is a classic. It's a classic that was my 45 last year, and its being a classic didn't stop it from falling 30 points. And that has to do with another game I'll talk about later that I've played more and more, and that is Arkham Horror. Arkham Horror from Fantasy Flight Games is a wonderful game set in the Cthulhu mythos, but it's big, it's sprawling, and it because of that, and because of the length it takes to play it, I just don't play this game as much as I used to, so that's why it's fallen so far. One of the reasons why it's fallen so far. But still, it's fun, it's interesting, it's creepy. And games that can have a real creepy element on top of just great gameplay, I really enjoy. I love reading horror, I love horror movies, and I love horror board games. And Arkham Horror is one of the best at providing that experience. Again, there's another one I'm going to talk about later that is even better at it. But still, Arkham Horror, very good game. That is my number 75. Number 74 is a worker placement game, and it's one of my favorite worker placement games, and that is Lords of Waterdeep from Wizards of the Coast. Now, I've got the expansion to it. I haven't played it with the expansion yet. Everybody says you've got to play it with the expansion because that really is a game changer in a positive way. I'm looking forward to it. I just, I've been so busy with reviews and stuff, I haven't gotten around to it. But I really like Lords of Waterdeep, just the base game. It's worker placement. It's interesting. It makes you think, how best can I use my resources? And there's those moments where you need something desperately and somebody takes it from you. You can play those cards on other players that can really screw them over. It's just a fun, interesting experience. It's thematic in its own way, not thematic, not strongly thematic like a lot of other games are. I guess you could play this with a different theme and it wouldn't matter too much, but still, it does excite the imagination into a kind of a fantasy realm, but it's worker placement, which is kind of unusual. So I really like that. It did fall. It was 53 last year, but still really enjoy Lords of Waterdeep. My number 74. My number 73 is new to the list this year. This was kind of a surprising game, and it didn't quite get the love I thought it would, but I really enjoyed it. My play group really enjoyed it, and I'll tell you one of the key reasons I enjoyed it. It had a lot of player negotiation and working together with other players and trying to achieve your ends while trying to balance what you're doing with other players, to me, is one of my absolute favorite things in games, and this game nailed it. Despite some clunkiness, despite some fiddliness, I think it nailed that negotiation mechanic down very well. I am, of course, talking about Fief France 1429 from Academy Games. This is great. If you want to form an alliance, you actually have to marry one of your characters off to another character of an opposite sex from another house. And it's fun and it's interesting, and you can still have kind of informal alliances that are cool, but you can win as an alliance or you can win singly. And there's just some great moments. You can assassinate characters, but then justice can come, and one of your characters can be assassinated or executed, right? So there's just all these fun thematic elements to the game. A lot of people, like I say, didn't have a lot of love for it, but I really got a kick out of it. So that is Fief France 1429. That is my number 73. My number 72 is another game. Again, first of all, it fell. It was my 39. It fell for these same reasons. I actually have been playing it little bit more lately, but still, there are just some better games and better games like this, because this is another Commands and Colors game. I'm speaking here of BattleLore 2nd Edition from Fantasy Flight Games. BattleLore is another fantastic game. I really enjoy BattleLore quite a bit. It is a game of not only kind of fantasy creatures and cool models that you're moving on the board that you play with the Commands and Color system. You also have these lore decks and like spells and magic things that you can do. So there's also this kind of other war, and so part of the game is trying to collect lore that you can then spend on your lore decks to cast those spells and stuff. And that is really fun. They just have come out with some new expansions for it. Earlier this year, we saw 2 new kind of army packs for the existing factions. They just came out with an entirely new faction, which is kind of like the Undead. And that one was a lot of fun, too. So I really enjoy BattleLore 2nd Edition. It was my 39. It is now my 72. Finally, my number 71. This is a game that has actually jumped up. It was 89 last year on the list. Now it is 71. And that has a lot to do with the expansion that came out for it. One of the expansions that came out for it. This is a great card game, Machi Koro. Machi Koro is a wonderful game of rolling dice to activate cards to help you out. Sometimes screw other people over, sometimes even screw you over. It kind of works similar to Settlers of Catan in that way. Everybody's turn, you're rolling a dice. Depending on the cards that you have purchased, that you have out there, you're going to gain money or maybe steal money. Other fun things. Now, the big reason why this jumped up was because of the Harbor expansion. Harbor expansion makes this game from a good game, I think, to a great game. I haven't played the other expansions yet, but I really, really like the Harbor expansion. In fact, I would go so far as to say, don't just buy the base game. If you're looking at this game, buy the base game and the expansion. It's not going to be much harder to learn. It's not going to be harder to learn, and it's just going to be a lot more fun. So that is Machi Koro with the Harbor expansion. That is my number 71. So thank you for joining us for this section of my Top 100 list. We've got more coming up soon. Please make sure you leave a comment here on YouTube, on Board Game Geek, on our Facebook page, on discriminatinggamer.com. Let us know what you think about this list. I'm really interested to hear your comments, questions, your opinions, what you think generally. So please also like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube. We are The Discriminating Gamer, and I promise, next episode, I'm going to reveal my secret identity.
Please somebody help me on my feet again. And I don't.
And these games... Start repeating again. Start repeating again. And these games...
Oh, I was looking at something.
That's fine, just repeat. And these games,
that
you'll play
are
the best. So he says, to be viewed
on
YouTube, are the top
100.
Repeat that part.
Sorry.
Top 100 games. There's a guy who likes games, and the best that he's played are the ones that just say to be viewed on YouTube, and the games that he plays are the best that he says are the top 100 games.
I thought it was around.
It's supposed to be.